SportsMeds, your channel for riveting sporting analysis. Tune in as host Jordan Sterling delves into topical issues in the global sporting arena and engage in discussions that go beyond the base. Hi sports fans, welcome to SportsMeds. This is your host Jordan. Now today I would like to talk a little bit about the recent test series between England and the West Indies. West Indian cricket fans are left disappointed yet again as the team surrendered the lead and lost the three-test series 2-1 to England. Now that the series is over and we have had some time to conduct the post-mortem, it is fair to say that the team is still some way from turning the proverbial corner. Having defeated the English in their last test series in the Caribbean, some fans and pundits had hopes of the team pulling off an unlikely series win on enemy territory. These expectations were further heightened as the team won the first test in Southampton by 4 wickets. However, the West Indies returned to their usual levels of mediocrity by losing the next 2 test matches with some listless performances, especially on the part of our batsmen. I am disappointed not necessarily by the series defeat, but the manner in which the team surrendered and played in the hands of the English. Now, England are a very hard side to beat in their backyard. However, this was arguably one of their weakest teams that we have played against in many years. Furthermore, the West Indies landed 1 month before the start of the series and had an opportunity to work on kinks within their armory. In the second test, the West Indies were beaten by 113 runs as they failed to record a score of 300 plus in either innings. Now, this is definitely a recipe for disaster. If you are unable to score 300 runs in an innings at the test level, then you are definitely in trouble. And West Indies failed to do that in the second test. The third test was even worse, as the men from the Caribbean were walloped by 269 runs, failing to record a score of 200 plus in either innings. The series defeat ensured that the team continues to search for its first test series win on English soil since 1988. Now, having analyzed the series, I would like to look at the reasons, or the main reasons, in my opinion, that caused us to lose versus England. The first and arguably the primary reason for us losing the just concluded series versus England was poor batsmanship. It was very disheartening watching the West Indian batsmen being dismissed in the same manner over and over. Not to take anything away from the English bowlers, as they are very good especially in their own conditions. However, it is fair to say that some of the wickets were gifted to them by batsmen who have displayed an inability to consistently score runs at the highest level. Now, how can we win test matches with players who are unable to bat an entire day in a test match? How can we consistently win test matches with batsmen who average in their 30s in first class cricket? For those who believe we can, you are in denial. Since Chris Gayle and Ramnaresh Sarwan, the West Indies has not produced a batsman who has consistently averaged 40 or over in test cricket. Darren Bravo once averaged over 40, but in the last 3 to 4 years, his game has declined and his test average now stands at 37.7. I know some people will point to the very talented Shai Hope and Shimron Hetmyer, who was not on the recent England tour, that is Hetmyer, as batsmen with tools to excel at the test level. But we are yet to see them consistently produce at the highest level. Now, Shimron Hetmyer has been described as a generational talent by former coach and Australian player Stuart Law. Law believes that Hetmyer has the ability to become the next Brian Lara for the West Indies. I believe so too. He has all the necessary tools, but we have not seen that application as yet at the test level. The same can be said about Shai Hope, who is a very, very gifted player and someone that I rate highly. A young man who has an average of over 50 in one-day cricket, but yet he has been struggling at test level. He has all the shots in the book, he has the requisite technique, but Shai Hope has flattered to deceive, especially since scoring those 200s in the test match against England. I think it was in 2017. And I think that hope should be dropped after such a wretched series versus England. And he needs to go back to the drawing board, play some more 4-day cricket and try to work on his game. Because at this rate, you know, he's going to go down as one of those players, or one of the many players that we know have the ability but just never produce at the highest level. We have seen several in the past, the likes of Darren Ganga, Marlon Samuels, Devon Smith. We have seen many players coming through the ranks who have never really fulfilled their full potential at test level. So I am hoping that Shai Hope will go back to the drawing board and work on his game. And I am definitely hoping that Shimron Hetmyer will really knuckle down and be the player that we know he can be. He wasn't on the tour to England, which many fans, you know, were left disappointed by that. But I am really looking forward to see Shimron Hetmyer knuckle down, because he has what it takes to produce at test level. But potential alone won't do it. It will take a lot of application and discipline. It will take concentration. And for these players to study the game, because I think these West Indian players, when you watch them, you have to wonder if they are thinking the game, especially the batsmen being dismissed the same way over and over. Test cricket is considered to be the zenith of the sport. And if you are unable to perform at this level, then you are not considered to be of international quality. However, it is important to note that the West Indies struggles did not start in the recent series against England, as our cricket has been in decline since 1995, when we lost the Sir Frank Worrell Trophy to Australia. However, I believe we are at an all-time low in terms of the quality of our batting. Coming into the England series, both openers, Craig Brathwaite and John Campbell, averaged in their 30s in the regional 4-day tournament, but were basically sure picks. What does this say about our cricket? Although not playing many games to date, Campbell has only one test score over 50 and looks out of sorts versus international bowlers. Gone are the days when players score heavily at regional level and could not break into the West Indies side. Today, test caps have become like candies handed down to children for good behavior. The moment a player arrives on the scene and scores an attractive looking 30, he is being referred to as the next Serville, Brian Lara or Clive Lloyd. Watching the games versus England was not easy, as I wondered how most of these batsmen made it into the team. Basic tenets of batting, such as playing straight and getting behind the line of the ball to play a hook or a pull shot, were non-existent. It was even more comical and embarrassing seeing the batsmen literally running away from the English bowlers, despite coming from a region renowned for producing express pacers. If our batsmen fail to grasp the basics of their craft, such as concentrating for long periods, assessing conditions, and converting starts into hundreds, then our time in the wilderness could be much longer. In the England series, none of our batsmen recorded a century. Again, how can we consistently win games if we fail to tick these basic boxes? Viewers, it was really heart-rending seeing the West Indies batsmen. Probably apart from Jermaine Blackwood and Shamar Brooks, I didn't really see the other batsmen, and Craig Brathwaite in a couple innings really tried to knuckle down and bat. It's as if these guys do not understand that in order for you to succeed at test level, you must apply yourself, you must assess the condition. If a player is being paid to play cricket and you are getting dismissed the same way time and time again, it tells me that you are either not good enough or you are not learning from your mistakes. And I saw so much of that from the West Indies batsmen in the England series. While the bowling was not at its absolute best in the series, they did enough to give us a shot at winning. Had it not been for their brilliance in the first test, we might have suffered a whitewash. Over the last 3 years, the likes of Kemar Roach, Jason Holder and Shannon Gabriel have improved leaps and bounds. and have consistently bowled out opponents for under 300, giving the team a fair chance of winning test matches. However, the batsmen continue to undo their hard work with erratic and mediocre displays. At the current juncture, the future of West Indian fast bowling is in good hands, as several outstanding prospects are coming through the ranks and are primed to take the baton from Gabriel and Roach. I expect players such as Alzari Joseph, Shemar Older, Anderson Phillip, Kemo Paul, and O'Shane Thomas to grow and transition into being high quality bowlers at test level. Honestly, viewers, and I want you to tell me if you think I am wrong, I do not hold the same level of enthusiasm for the batsmen. Admittedly, we have several good batsmen playing limited overs cricket, especially T20, but the options are scarce for the test team. As a result, I would like to ask this question. Do you think that we should incorporate the likes of Nicholas Pooran and Evan Lewis into the test team? Because the current players are not getting the job done. Additionally, do you think that we should run the risk and start blooding youngsters such as Joshua Da Silva out of Trinidad and Tobago and Kyle Mayers from Barbados, who scored heavily in the just concluded 4-day championship in the Caribbean? Mind you, that this championship is not necessarily of the highest quality, but it is the highest level of cricket in the region. And as a result, it is this tournament that we use mainly to select our players. After all is said and done, I think we have to do something about our batting because they are just not getting the job done. So please go ahead and share in the comment section if you think we should probably go for some of the guys in the limited overs team and give them an opportunity to try and play some test matches. However, things are looking very dim in my opinion because the guys are not applying themselves. Another reason for the series defeat against England was the lack of a quality frontline spin bowling option. Part-timer Royston Chase did a decent job when called upon, but I think the lack of a quality spin bowling option hurt the team, especially when the ball became older and the fast bowlers were less effective. Now, the much talked about Rakeem Cornwall played in the last test but was very ineffective as he failed not only to take a wicket but was also unable to contain the English batsmen going for over 3 runs per over. It would be unfair for one to conclude that Cornwall is not test material, as he is in the embryonic stages of his test career and deserves a run in the team. However, based on his display in England, he will have to lift his game if he is going to be successful at the highest level. And the sooner he recognizes that wickets will not be gifted to him like when he's playing in the regional competitions, the better it will be for his career. Hence, the verdict is still out on whether he has what it takes to succeed as a test bowler. In the meantime, the coaching staff should continue to work on the spinners in the region, because if you look at the most successful teams or the more successful teams around, you will realize that they have, at least one quality spin bowler in their armory. For example, India has Ravi Ashwin or Ravindra Jadeja. Australia has Nathan Lyon. Now, we need to have a good spin bowler to back up the quality fast bowlers that we currently have at our disposal. So I expect the coaching staff to continue to work on this, because right now the spin bowling options are limited in the region, at least quality spin bowling options. Fielding continues to be a major problem for the West Indies. Under Richard Pybus, we saw a slight improvement in the field, but I believe we are back to square one at this moment. Several chances were dropped in the England series, and there was a level of sloppiness in the overall fielding of the team. There were several misfields, and it's fair to say that the ground fielding was below par. So Phil Simmons and his staff have their work cut out to correct this problem, because as you know, again, at the highest level, if you can save 25 to 30 runs in the field per innings, then it will definitely help the team in increasing their chances to win test matches. And with our batsmen being so unreliable, it is even more important for us to come good in the field to save as much runs as possible. Having highlighted the reasons behind the series defeat to England, I would now like to look at some measures that Cricket West Indies should take to make the team more competitive. The first one is I think they should arrange more A-team tours for players on the fringes of the first team. Exposure to more cricket, especially against their counterparts from other countries, would definitely improve the game of our players. It would make them become more prepared for the rigors of Test cricket. I remember back in the days in the 90s, for example, the West Indies would go on multiple A-team tours in a year, and as a result, the players were more competitive. So I would love to see a return to that type of structure in our cricket. Additionally, I think we should consider increasing the first class season from 10 to maybe 15 games. If you look at the Sheffield Shield in Australia and the County Championship in England, they play a large volume of cricket, and as a result of that, they produce, battle-hardened players who are able to come to test level with the requisite skill sets to do well because they play a number of first-class games under their belts. I know some will point to resource constraints, but I think the onus is on the Ricky Skerritt-led administration to come up with some measures to ensure that our players are more competitive at test level and they are given the opportunity to play more first-class cricket. Another point that I would like to make that I think would improve the overall cricket in the region would be for Cricket West Indies to play a more active role in assisting the territorial boards to strengthen the structure of their cricket, especially at grassroots and club levels. Now, having certified coaches at primary schools, I think is very important because youngsters need to be exposed to the rudiments of the game from a very young age if they are going to be successful at the highest level. I also would like to see a revival of club cricket. I remember back in the days, club cricket was very competitive in Jamaica, for example, with the likes of Lucas, Melbourne and Kensington. Now, those clubs are still around, but I do not think they have the same strength and structure that they once had. So I would love to see, more attention being given to the club level in the region. Additionally, I think it is paramount for us to improve the pitches in the Caribbean. I think the pitches need to have more balance to help both batsmen and bowlers if we are going to produce high quality players for test cricket. Finally, I think the board should compensate the players better to play test matches because that would be an incentive. Remember now, yes, they cannot compete with T20 leagues, the franchise level cricket. But I think a lot of the guys, or some of the guys at least, would be willing to play test match cricket. They have spoken about it in interviews, and I think some of them genuinely would be willing to play test cricket if the compensation was right. So, Cricket West Indies try to make the compensation a little bit more competitive. So the players, we have our best players turning out for us, because one may argue that our best players are mainly playing in the T20 or the franchise leagues across the world. So I think in order for us to have them show greater interest in playing for us at the longest format of the game, we have to compensate them better. So it will be interesting to see what Skerritt and his administration will do going forward. So these are my 2 cents. Viewers, please go ahead and share your thoughts with me about the state of West Indies cricket. What do you think about the level of batsmanship in the region, or even the quality of bowling that we have at our disposal? I believe the bowlers are at a good place, but we are struggling to find quality batsmen who have what it takes to succeed at the highest level. Thank you for tuning into SportsMeds. Please remember to like, share, comment, and most importantly, subscribe.